I have had two models my entire military career. I brought it out into my business and bring it out to the craps group. One of them is one team, one fight.
Casino trip, full of chips. Wanna flip, double it.
Welcome to the Full of Chips podcast, the only chips you'll never lose, where the stakes are high, the takes are bold, and the conversations are always full of chips. With your hosts, Chris, the Dice Degen, and Craig from Old Bay Craps. You're tuned in to Full of Chips, the podcast where we dive into our own experiences into the world of gambling and share stories straight from the casino floor. Whether you're a recreational gambler, a seasoned pro, or just curious what the buzz is all about, you're in the right place. Each week, we break down the games, talk to the experts, and bring you tips that could tilt the odds in your favor. So grab your lucky charm, stack your chips, and let's roll into today's episode.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 10 of the Full of Chips podcast with your hosts, Chris the Dice Degen and Craig from Old Bay Craps. Craig, how are we doing tonight?
That's the hard 10, the 5-5. That's episode 10. We are 10 in. Isn't
The
that
Old Bay
establishing
bushel.
yourself when you're 10 episodes into a podcast? I don't know. You tell me.
All right, we're on the right track, I think.
Okay. I think we're finally getting the views that we thought we were going to be getting for the episodes, separate from the shorts that seem to be hit or miss, but more hit recently than miss. But the episodes are
Yeah, some of
doing
those.
well. Doing well.
Yeah, and we're all about it. We're here and we're doing our thing. If the listeners like it, great. If they don't like it, well,
Great.
great.
Negative
Honestly.
feedback is still feedback.
Exactly. I always joke around, especially with like the YouTube stuff. I have one person who dislikes every video I put out. And I know it's the same person because it's always as soon as I post, there's a dislike on the video like almost immediately. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, hey, it's got to be the same person. Like I know you have my post notifications on. And like I'm glad I live that rent free in your head that as soon as I post, you gotta go and dislike my video. Like, thanks.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
My haters are my motivators.
What I do love is that we just came off episode 9 about meetups, AC Craps Crew, which was probably one of my top 2 favorite episodes besides our first episode introducing Full of Chips podcast. What a great episode. The top 5 was killer. I think I laughed my ass off. I know we had to edit a lot of that because we were laughing our tits off. So that was a good one. Literally.
Yeah, like I think you almost spit your drink once. I think I did a couple of times. And the funny part was like we were both there, but we didn't know what each other was gonna say
No.
about that experience. And yeah, what a great top 5 list. I agree with you. That was one of my favorite episodes so far. And like the content was really cool in my opinion because like meetups are a big thing. But like I love the top 5 list. I know we talk about it all the time, but like the top 5 lists are one of my favorite things of this entire podcast.
Yeah, this and what we're doing right now, which is just bullshitting. I mean,
Oh yeah.
episode 9 was great, which is a great lead in into today's episode. But, I can't do anything in today's episode until I have a sip.
There you go. What are we sipping tonight?
This time we have Crown again because it's so damn delicious and smooth. But this time we have Crown Royal with Dr. Pepper.
Ooh. I like that combo.
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper is a sneaky good mixer.
It is. I didn't think so. I was like, I could have gone with the Diet Coke just for Chris because we had it upstairs. And I was like, I'm going to go with Dr. Pepper. And
There you
damn if I
go.
didn't pick the right one. So
There you go. Well, good choice. Degen is drinking some beer tonight. Degen has Cape May Brewing Company, the Cape May Gold. It's not bad. Pretty good. I love me some Cape May. I haven't had this one before. Not my favorite from them. Not my least favorite. But big little Cape May Brewing fan. So for my folks at Cape May Brewing, if you want to sponsor the podcast, hit Degen's DMs.
and Chris probably gets a lot of play because he's a good looking guy, right? Good looking kid in shape. I am clearly out of shape, but I want you all to do this. When we're done with this episode and you've already viewed it all, I want you to compare it to our first interview with Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps, because I was wearing a white shirt then, and clearly you could see some of the man boobage that I'm working on. I did break down and I bought the twister arm that everybody's getting right now. It's a hot ticket item of equipment, and I've been using it religiously every day as much as I do blackjack and craps. So, I'm starting to think I'm starting to get a little tough here. It's getting a little bit, it's going from here to like this. So I'm still working on it, but we'll see we'll see how it is on interview number 3 and 4.
There we go. Interview number 3 and 4. So, does that mean we have an interview today?
We do have an interview today.
Ooh,
Mhm.
we have an interview coming up. So, episode 10. If you haven't caught the cadence here, episode 5 interview with Jeff, episode 10 interview with TBD, because you will see him after the break. But maybe every 5 episodes, maybe we'll sprinkle in some new ones here and there. But we're looking forward to this episode, and it's very, very fitting that it's coming off our meetups and the crew aspect. And Craig, shall we meet our guest?
We shall meet our guest. Let's do it.
Let's meet our
All
guest.
right. There are over 342 million people in the United States, Chris. Of those, less than 0.5% are in our US military. Yet we wouldn't be able to live where we want, do what we want to do, speak our minds, or go to casinos and play the games we love without their very freedom they provide. We are honored to have our second guest on the Full of Chips podcast, veteran Ted Berry, known in the craps community as Special Delivery. Welcome, Ted.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it. I do have to correct you
Thank
on a
you.
fact, though. It's not
Please.
0.5%. It's 1/3 of 1% that serves in our military today.
Wow. Wow, that's even smaller.
Yes.
That is smaller. Craig's not a mathlete over here, so
No, I'm not an
the
athlete.
math gets a bit sticky for him sometimes.
You should
Well, you
see me
play
on
the
a
wrong
six,
game if you can't handle math.
you should see me on a 6 and 8.
Yeah, Craig's like, let me get $10 on the 6 and 8. Oh wait, no, it's 12.
Wait a minute, that was part of your
But
background story.
yeah. No, we're really happy to have you here today, Ted, and thanks for joining us. Now, how you doing on this fine evening?
I could be doing better, but I'm still walking, talking, breathing. Everything else is extra.
There you go. That's good. That's good. We're happy to have you. And coming off of episode 9, where we were talking about some meetups, some crews, and we thought no one better to have on this episode than the founder of the main crew that we are a part of. So figured, why not have Ted on today? And we have Ted as our guest. So hopefully everybody enjoys. Now we want to get into a little bit about you, how you started gambling, forming the Atlantic City Craps crew, playing, where you like to play, all that kind of stuff. So, what's your background in a little bit, and then like how'd you get into gambling?
Background: I'm 23 years military. I'm now retired. Um, uh, did that for my time. I did everything between combat arms to anti-terrorism to admin, instructing, recruiting. So I have a wide gambit there. I have my own business, or had my own business. COVID hit, passed that on to somebody else, and then came back. I was down in Virginia taking care of my mom. Came back up here at the start of COVID, and passed that on to one of my drivers that I had before. And then I started working for the post office. Did that for about a year, kicked my butt, and then found a good job working for DOD as a mail clerk. So now I'm definitely enjoying life, and now I have some time to spend at the casinos. When I was at the post office, that I'd actually show up in my mail outfit at the table.
Oh, we're going to talk about outfits at the table in a little bit. All right, that's what we're
Uh-oh.
going to talk about. For everybody at
Uh-oh.
home, stay tuned for that, because I have pictures that I will put up on the screen for the folks at home so you can see it. But no, that's good that you get to spend some time. And like, what got you into I guess casino games and playing casino games? Because as a a working man, I guess you could get into a lot of things. So what drew you to the casino?
Well, the funny thing is, it was started off not because of gambling or from it was because of the casinos and what they could offer me. I go bowling in Las Vegas every January for a military bowling tournament. It's in Las Vegas at South Point. And I was having to pay my airway, had to stay at a hotel, pay the food and everything like that, and that gets costly. And my roommate, she went to a Hard Rock quite a bit and stuff like that, and she was bringing home this and that and everything. I'm like, the hell is that? If I showed you all my stuff that I have down here, oh my gosh. But all the freebie, but explained it to me a little bit, and I ended up getting up to Diamond and everything. So with being a Diamond at that point, they had the Laurel Lounge, and you'd be able to go in there and get food for free. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm getting my rooms pretty much comped. I was still paying for parts of the room, but I was getting free food. Then I kept on going and kept on going, and then one year I got up to like almost I got up to Diamond Elite, and I was like, you know what? Let me go for it. I'm gonna go for my 7-star, because with the Diamond Elite, I got one trip to Las Vegas, a $600 reimbursement, and I was like, this is cool. I don't have to pay for flights anymore. Get free food, free rooms, blah blah blah. Now, then I got up to 7-star because that was just a whim. I was like, you know what? I'm almost there. Let me go for it. Let me try it. And I've been 7-star ever since. But it was because of bowling that got me into the casino.
So what got you into the game of craps?
What got me into the game of craps? Well, when I started the gambling part, I was doing the slots. Then I went into and it was mainly at Bally's in Atlantic City when it was a Caesar's property. Got into the slots, and then I moved over into like the carnival tables and everything. And then right next to the carnival tables was the craps table. Craps table was hooing and hawing and everything like that, high fives and everything. I was like, interesting. Let me go take a look at this. So I go over there, take a look at it. I was like, interesting. Let me try. So I tried. And then I started doing more and more and more. And then I started realizing that craps in Atlantic City is the only game where a player has an influence in the dice or influence in the game when they're playing against the house. And me being my headstrong person is like, all right, I'm going to learn this sucker. I'm going to learn it. I'm going to practice the dice and everything like that. So I built a little shooting station out of an old dog bed that I had, and I would practice my dice and everything, and I would keep on practicing and practicing and practicing. And then when I go to the casino, I'd actually bring that shooting station in with me up to my room and practice up there before I went down. I'd pull out their ironing board and everything like that, set it up to about the right height, pull the table over out in the middle of the room and at the right height, and then throw away, practice and then go down and play. But
That's great.
that's what got me interested in craps, be able to influence.
So with going to Vegas every year and for bowling, and that's something you still do to this day, right?
Yeah.
And just since we don't, not many people may know that you did bowling or you currently do bowling. How good of a bowler are you?
My average is anywhere between a 205 to 215 generally.
All right, so I'm gonna stop playing. I'm gonna stop bowling myself on occasion because I have a trouble just breaking 100. So that sounds
I just
fantastic.
bowled yesterday. This
Did
was
you?
my yeah. This was my scores. I'll read them to you.
I was gonna ask if Wii bowling counts because I'm pretty good at that.
I've gotten a turkey on that. Yeah. Yeah.
191 was my first game. 250 was my second game, and 236 was my third game.
Have you ever
total
had a
That's some
perfect
pretty
game?
consistent bowling there.
Have you ever had a perfect game?
Yes, I've had one one sanctioned, and that was actually during a state tournament. And I've had several not non-sanctioned tournaments. And I've had a sanctioned 800 series.
That's impressive.
What's more exhilarating, hitting like a perfect game on the bowling or like just a really nice toss on the craps table?
They're both different feelings, but they're both in different ways. I know when I had my first uh, sanctioned 300, I always said if I ever got a 300, sanctioned 300, I was going to break dance. I actually, when I got the 300 and I went Brooklyn on it to the left side of the head pin, still got a strike. And I came back and I did like a backspin on the floor and everything. Ended up breaking my wrist guard, but
Well, I would figure it's easy to do a backspin on the bowling alley floor, being that it's so slippery.
not always.
No,
Some places don't clean them very well.
it was rough. It was rough.
I didn't get a good spin.
So transitioning, well, not say transitioning because you still play bowling, but I mean, how often do you bowl per year versus play craps?
Well, I bowl during the wintertime every Monday and Tuesday night, and then on uh during the summertime I bowled on one league during the summertime.
Okay, but you mostly play
Avid
craps,
bowler.
right?
Say it again.
You mostly play craps now.
As far as casinos concerned,
Yeah. Yes.
yes.
Do you play any other games or just craps?
I will if I get bored or if it the table has turned on me, I'll go take a break. I may hit a few slots every now and then, but generally it's craps.
You'll just give yourself a break and then
Yeah,
come back to the craps table and see if it just changed up.
right. The only game that where you have an influence in the game.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like there's the ambiance of the craps table pulls a lot of people in with, you know, the cheering, the just the vibe at the table, all that kind of stuff. Like that's
I agree.
definitely what, you know, brings most people to the game. Because I mean, I think you would agree, right? That like looking at a craps table versus looking at any other table in the casino, right? The craps table is the most intimidating one out of all of them, right? The slot machine, you see all the pretty lights, all that kind of stuff. You push one button, right? You just sit there
Exactly.
and tap, 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 tap. Like blackjack doesn't look that, I guess, confusing to most. Baccarat, like they may look confusing, but like you get to the craps table and it's like that's a different language.
Yep. Exactly. When I help people at the table and stuff like that, they'll come up to the table and they'll start throwing stuff in, and we try to teach them etiquette and everything at that point. We all do in the Atlantic City crew. We try to help teach people, and then I always tell them to focus on the outside. Don't focus on the middle because the middle is just freaking nuts and everything. So
Yeah,
there's too
it's
much there.
funny though. I feel like especially in like Atlantic City, there's so much center action bets. It's insane. Like I don't know why, but it's just when we're in Atlantic City, like a crew meetup, just hanging out, whatever it is, there's constant center action, center action, center action. Like when I play at my local, there's virtually no center action other than like hard ways occasionally, and then some maybe horn bets or some things along those lines for like to come out. But otherwise, the center action's pretty minimal. I feel like when we're in Atlantic City, it's just constant horn high this, high low, like hop this, do this. It's just a lot of center action play.
There is a lot here. Actually, 10 Ton mentioned it before that from Casino Tears. He mentioned that he can tell when people come to a Las Vegas that they are from the East Coast.
Yep. It's like a style of play almost. Now,
It
none
can
of
be.
us really adopt that style. We don't claim that style, but it seems that it's definitely prevalent here. Like I haven't noticed it anywhere else, and like I don't know. I enjoy the non-center action tables more just for the sole purpose it doesn't slow the game down a ton. Because some of that center action bets can slow down a game, especially when they hit. Because then you got the payout, and if you have a new dealer, I mean, forget about it. They don't know the payouts.
Yep, I agree.
So locally, you play mainly Atlantic City, being on the East Coast where you are. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yep, that's the main one.
Would Harrah's be your number one place to play?
Yes. The reason why it would be my number one place to play would because of the dealers and the the atmosphere of the dealers. Yeah, there are some dealers that I don't like there, or that our crew don't like, but we still do it. Majority of the dealers and stuff like that are excellent.
And you've also gotten to know the pit crew as well, not just a
Yeah.
dealer in your time playing. Um,
Yep.
we were just talking about in the last episode, when we talked about uh, being in a crew, that when you have a crew that plays so much at just this one casino in Harrah's, is that you get to know the pit boss, the pit crew, you get to know the dealers. And I would say from time to time, there's a little bit of influence that if there's a full table and there's a bunch of our crew during, let's say, a 10 times tier multiplier, that there might be some influence in opening up a new table because they know that it'll be filled with an entire crew of people. Would you
Correct.
agree?
I agree. And they don't have favorites, but I think they enjoy some of the people that come, and I know they enjoy our group.
Sure, and you can tell just by like, the dealers take the time to actually know our names, right?
Yep.
Like, and they have conversation with you, and usually like they'll give you the benefit of the doubt on things, and there's a good atmosphere where, like other casinos, if we went into that we don't know people, they might be like, who the hell are these guys? But especially like Harris and stuff. I mean, most of us are on a first name basis with all the dealers, most of the pit, and even like on different shifts of dealers, right? So like, we play at all different times during these meetups. And this is one thing I also wanted to touch with you on, because I know you like to play at I want to say crazy hours, but you open up the table some mornings there, because I know obviously day job and all. So like when we go to these meetups, I mean Ted's at the table 5 o'clock in the morning, out by 6, heading to work, and then he's back after work, and then back at the tables again. So um,
I have my
and when you're
alarm set.
playing, yeah, there you go. When you're playing, do you like the morning time better? Do you prefer the night, or it really doesn't matter to you? You like both each way?
I like them both each way. I mean, each one has their pluses and minuses. Um, I mean, at nighttime they're more crowded and stuff like that. So I won't. I mean, I get a position that I like. Um, Generally, when I go in the morning time, there's not a lot of people there, but a lot of them are still drunk from 2 nights ago
Yeah.
that are playing, and so kind of become obnoxious at some points. So, but yeah, I enjoy all the time.
That's great. So let's get into it. Let's talk about, the Atlantic City Craps crew was formed by you.
It was it's a
You don't have
crew.
to be modest.
A crew is a group of people that come together to share an experience or to share a moment in time. So we call ourselves a crew, and that's how it began. I sent you a picture with John Pro Craps and stuff on there. That was like our first picture. It has Lou in there. It has East Coast Craps. Has Jeff. Has you in there. Mark the Point. Uh, John Pro. John from Pro Craps, and myself is hiding in the very back, going.
Yeah, I'll flash it up on the screen for the folks at home.
But we enjoy. I enjoy getting together with everybody and stuff like that. Have a same common interest, having fun, but doing it correctly as far as the etiquette and everything like that. That's what I enjoy doing. And if we have one person that wins, like this year we've had to me a lot of people that have won. They have hit their 7 star this year, and that's one of the things that I trying to help give them guidance and stuff like that to get up to 7 star. Yeah, it's not so much the same way that other people do it, but they get there. And then later on, as they progress and growing, they'll tend to go with the bigger bets and all that kind of stuff like other people do.
I wanted to say this when you were on here because we talked about it in the previous episode. um, just how great and what a great support that you are to the Craps crew. And literally anybody who comes up to the Craps table to play, but specifically with the crew, because we talked about when you're in the crew that everybody takes the game seriously. Yes, we like to have a good time and we talk it up just as much as anybody,
Oh
but
yeah. We'll
we're
definitely
very
talk shit to
aware
one another.
of the etiquette. We're very aware of the rules, and we're very cognizant of how to act and the mannerisms at a table. And I just wanted to bring up to you, since you're here, and thank you that, you know, I was at a table one time and we actually talked about that particular session where I was at the table and you and Lou were off closer to the where the blackjack tables were at Harris, and you guys were just in the distance, but you saw from your angle me throwing because I was at stick left one, and you were like, move it over to the center. And it helped. I was saying that the guy next to me had his six because I was hitting a lot of sixes, and he got his six up to $1,200 before I sevened out. But it was that little adjustment that you gave from across the room, just because you could see the table and what was happening from that distance, and you knew I was throwing, and you could see my arm, and you gave me that little bit of adjustment. And so I wanted to thank you while I have you on here to tell you that
Thank you.
that was really great advice, and it was great hanging out with you and Lou afterwards. I think we went to the Seven Stars Lounge. So that was really nice.
I have had two models my entire military career. I brought it out into my business and bring it out to the craps group. One of them is one team, one fight. We're there for a reason, for a couple reasons. One, to have fun. Two, to win. And if we don't, and if we can accomplish both of them, that's a huge win for me and everything. I love seeing the smile, seeing the excitement of our group and stuff like that. I enjoy that. And the other one is uh when you take care of your people will take care of you. So that's why that's those are my two mottos that I have.
And you exemplify them to the utmost degree because, like Craig said, right, Ted's always putting in there in the group, letting us know what's going on, where it's going on, how to, like, again, questions, anything like that. You're our Caesar's expert. So any questions we have, we go right to Ted because we know that that's where we're going to find the information out from. And
If I can't find it or if I don't have it, I'll find it.
yep, exactly. We know our resources. Sometimes they say, right, you don't gotta be the smartest one, you just gotta know who to go to. So that's what I do. I might not be the smartest one, but I go to Ted.
Well, thank you.
So Ted,
I'm not that smart either.
one of the things we also wanted to kind of get your idea on is, do you go there with a strategy, or are you the kind that you're looking for repeaters and you're just following what's rolling?
I go there with a plan of attack. Now I may have to make adjustments and stuff along the way, as you should always be aware of what's going on the table. Um, but Chris did a thing on the way that I play the 66 inside and everything. That's the way I usually start out at. I'm in the scheme of things, I'm a low roller, but I can build them up and I can build them up quickly.
Yeah, that's a good that's how I play too. I know a lot of people want to think that like, yeah, because my name is Dice Degen, that I'm a degenerate and that I, go out there with wild bets and stuff, which I really don't. Like most people know if you've ever played with me, like the bets, especially the starting bets, they're nothing crazy. Same thing, like I would call it pretty low roller type play. And then I'm not afraid to pounce though. So just like Ted
Yeah.
said, right? Like I'm not afraid to press up those bets, get them up there quickly, still collecting and stuff as I go. But the 66 inside strategy that you had me roll out, I like it a lot. Because as I told you when we were talking about it, right? Like a lot of the 66 inside strategy is very, very hard to get those bets pressed up and like actually be in a position to make money, right? Like, yes, our objective is to get out of the hand, as we all say, and just recover what you have out there. But once you do that from like a 66 inside type standpoint, right? If you leave it at 66, you need 3 hits ish, we'll call it, to get that 66 back, right? You're a couple bucks short, but it's close enough. Or you need 4 hits, and like we all know what the standard rolls on craps tables are in terms of the averages and all that kind of stuff. Or you do something like a skill 66 where you have your 66, you go up, and then you come all the way down to 44. And we all know how hard it is to make money at
Right.
44 inside. right? You're picking up pennies, and can you pick up enough pennies before that 7 comes? Probably not, right? So that one that you had come up with that I was rolling out, I really like it because you get that 66, you get a little bit aggressive there, you recover your money, and you're set up ready to attack once you come out of that, which I do really like because again, like I said, starting out with like a relatively low play, that's what you're really looking for, is to get out of the hand and then be in a position to actually capitalize on the hand that is in front of you. Where like a lot of those low roller strategies, it's hard to capitalize because you're not set up to capitalize. And you don't have the bankroll to be able to go out there and do something to, put yourself in a position like that for the most part. So that's why I like that play, because, you get out of the hand and then you're set up ready to go and you can really attack a good roll. And obviously if you're have a bigger buy-in, you could play at different levels and things like that. But I like that play, and I like the ability to get out of the hand and then be able to attack. And that's, I guess, kind of why you came up with that, right? To be able to
Yep.
get out and then set yourself up.
And I got something I'll show you later on in reference to addition to go on that too.
All
And
right,
everything,
cool.
so you
I'm
can
looking
try it out.
forward to it. Yeah, and for anybody who wants to see that, I'm not promoting my channel or anything, but it's in the description down below. I'll put a link to the video if you want to see what it looks like, since we're talking about it. Um, Even though I guess technically my name being on the screen is a promo to my channel and Craig's channel and all that kind of stuff all the time. But we don't like to talk about the channels necessarily. We like to just have good old conversation. But I'll put a link to it down below if anybody wants to go see what we're talking about.
So, Ted, when you're playing something like that, does your strategy ever change based on table energy or dealer stick behavior?
Not really. It's more on the shooter
Shooter based.
base.
So, how do you
Uh,
decide when to walk away from a hot or a cold table?
Well, if we get a good hot roll and everything going, um, I'll probably stay for like a couple more, especially if it's our people that are shooting. I'll stay. I'll try to stay for a few more, but then otherwise I'm gone. I was in I was at Atlantic City the other day. I just ran down there I think it was Sunday. Just ran down there real quick. Jumped on the table. Lou was there. Joe was there, and when I came up, they were telling me the table's really bad, really bad, and everything, and it was going around and everything, and got to Lou. He had a really decent hand. Joe, not so much. And then it came to me, and then I had a decent hand, and it's like looking at the other people coming around, it's like it's time for me to go.
Yep. I mean, see, that's the thing though. Like we talk about it too with, um, I guess the different mindset, right? Between like a meetup and then when you go to the casino to play. Like most of us, when we go to play, right, we go for the goal of winning, right? Because we're not necessarily there with other people. Our goal is to win and have fun, obviously, but to win, right? And I was saying on other episodes and stuff that like for me at my local, that may be one hand, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 3 hours, depends on how the session goes. But
Right.
like I don't have a problem going to the table, buying in, winning the amount that I want to win, and walk away. Right. I don't have that like issue that I have to stay at the table. Now, when we go to meetups and other stuff, I do stay at the tables probably longer than I would like sometimes. And it's not because I don't want to be at the table, it's just because I want to talk to people and stuff. But as I've said in the past, my betting style at a lot of those meetups is very different compared to how I would actually play on a table going to a local for a specific win goal or whatever it may be, just because I know that I'm going to be talking and chit chatting and doing other stuff. So like I want my bets pretty simple, nothing crazy out there that I have to think and do other stuff. I'd rather just focus on the conversation and have the bets out there and just enjoy the time. But it's nice when you can get in and get out. I like personally, I think there's no better feeling of like going to the table, quick win, and then like leaving. Like I don't know, I like that for some reason. I don't like sitting at tables for that long. Like I don't know if that's just me, but
Nope.
I really don't like spending that much time at the tables.
Yeah. Well, the longer you stay there, the more opportunities you're giving the casino to get their money back.
It's true.
And
Yep.
we will get to that later on in our top five.
Oh
Okay.
yes. Oh yes. We'll get there. But I mean,
So-
even like when we were at the 10-time multiplier, right? Like the one Craig and I played blackjack for like what 10, 15 minutes max. Both won a little bit and then got the hell up and left. Like, cause it was easy. Like we won, let's leave. Like I'm not gonna sit here and like try to, win more because I already know what's gonna happen. I'm probably gonna give most of it back plus some. So like I'd rather just walk away a winner and call it good.
You got to remember the moment you step into the casino, they have the odds in their favor.
Yep.
So, and the longer you stay there, you're increasing those odds even more.
I imagine with, you know, the military background, and Chris alluded to it earlier about discipline, that you have a lot of discipline, Ted, and you probably carry it over to the craps table. But I just want to ask somebody who is disciplined like that, where, common folk like myself, I had to go deep down and learn discipline. It wasn't really something that just came naturally to me. It's something I had to teach myself. I had to learn it. But is there ever a time where you regretted a bet you made out of emotion? If you ever
Yes.
made a bet out of an emotion?
Yeah. Well, yes, I have, and I've also made bets to where I wanted to test myself and prepare myself for the next step and everything. I was over at Kansas City, at Harris over there, and Justice Jen can test to this, where I had what was it, 880 some dollars across on the opening roll and everything. So I was testing myself, trying to. I mean, that's one of the things we do on our home tables is we build up our bets to see if this is something that we can do and everything. But those feelings come out different when you're dealing with real chips and not the
Yep.
house chips.
You can plan
So
all
I
you
was
want, but
right. So I just happened to win a good amount of money at Kansas City, and so I had the extra money. Uh, so I was like, I wanted to test myself.
and that's
You
okay.
need to.
That's the occasional thing, right?
Yeah,
You
it's
didn't
not.
really.
It's
It's
not.
not something that you go into it like that all the time. That every time there's something going great, you feel you have to deviate and do something completely out of your character.
Yeah, no. I'm very well disciplined on that.
Yeah, and you just alluded to, practicing it like your home table and stuff. And I know you were talking earlier a little bit about using the dog bed and using an ironing board and things along those lines. So I mean, I've been to your house, so I know what your practice setup looks like. And now, excuse me, the table that you do have. But give us a little insight into what your setup looked like before and what it looks like now in terms of your table. Because I know we shot some dice in the garage on your old table, and then now the butte that's sitting behind you.
Um, well, the dog bed was one that I made up for one of my dogs that passed away. So it was just sitting there. So I used that, got some of the alligators skin, put it on the backside. Went to one of the shops and bought some felt, put that down there, and I printed up my the uh the dice, the not the dice, but the felt on there. So I'd practice with my chips going that way. Um, then while I was down in Virginia, and I was taking care of my mom. She had a knee operation, and so I was down there for about a year taking care of her. And this one home table, which is the one that you sat up on, or that you saw, that came open up in New York. The guy was just getting rid of it and everything. He's like, I much rather give it away than burn it. And that was his next plan. If nobody came and got it, he was going to burn it and everything. So I said, Mom, I'm borrowing your car, because she had a truck at that point, and I got a trailer. Where I had a trailer at my house, so I stopped by my house, grabbed the trailer, went up to New York, grabbed it, and drove it all the way back down to Virginia and everything. And that I was using that for quite a while. We were doing
Wow.
that in the shed. Had that for about 3 years, and then I came across a table that was on Marketplace. Um, the guy bought it originally from a sale. Casino was going out of business, which happened to be the Trump Taj Mahal, and I bought it from him, and it now sits in my dining room area. I was able to build an addition onto my house, and this table has been in this house since the area here has been in sticks. Had to use a crane to get it up into my house through a window.
That thing was heavy. Let me tell you folks at home, that thing was heavy. 'Cause I know it
Yep.
was in the shed. And I remember having to help move that thing and oh my God.
Yeah, it was in the trailer. It was in the
Yep.
trailer.
Yeah. No, it's always interesting because I think a lot of people like to they like to talk about like setups and other stuff. And, for a lot of people at home listening, right? Like they're not, as fortunate to have a full length regulation craps table in the house, right? Luckily, for me, the fiance is cool with it because if she wasn't, I wouldn't have it in the house. I'd be in probably my own doghouse with the craps table and I'd spend all my time there, as opposed to spending time in the house. But
I
it's
do
always
that.
interesting for me to see the different setups, right? Like where something similar, right? I had my own little shooting station and then I graduated to a table that I also found on marketplace. But it's always interesting to me to see kind of like how people evolve, right? Because most people aren't getting the craps bug and getting the itch and going out and buying a table immediately, right? There's usually intermediate steps in there that they take. So it's always, cool to me to see, what people kind of used and how they progressed. And then I think
It's
it helps,
called
the
growth.
listeners at home. Yeah, it is. And it helps the listeners at home too to kind of like, come up maybe with some ideas for their own setups at home or, if they don't have anything, what they could start out with. And then when they have that, what they could maybe graduate to the next one, and then finally maybe a table or something along those lines. But yeah, I mean, I know your table's sitting in your dining room. Like these tables are big. I don't think people realize that. Like these things are massive.
Yep. This one here is 14 feet.
Yeah, it's
14,
a nice table.
14 feet total, but it's about no, it's 13 feet total. It's 12 feet in the bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't even have room in my basement for that. I would just be able to walk around it,
Well,
not
Let alone get it
comfortably.
down there. Like getting them down there is tough. Like I guess if you get one, you get in boxes, it's not too bad because you can just carry the boxes down. But like, I mean, my table, like the bowl of my table is one piece. I think yours is the same way, right, Ted? One
the
piece.
the the railings is all one piece. The bed of it is three pieces of 3/4 inch plywood, and they're all
Okay.
together. They're all bonded together. That
Yep.
section is heavy, and then it
Yeah.
has two legs and then a cross beam on the bottom. So it's total
Yep. So
five.
mine's the same way, where like my rails and walls are all one piece. They don't come apart. So like to carry that, it's heavy. And then yes, my surface is all one piece too, which that thing is that the whole thing is heavy. But yeah, they're big. So like if people are looking at those, make sure you have the space. Because if you have 12 feet in your house, 12 feet's not enough. Let me tell you that.
I will tell you that I'm not fortunate enough yet to have a craps table, a regulation size, but I do have a regulation size 10-foot skee ball machine that you would see on a boardwalk. And it came in two pieces. However, even the two pieces, the one piece would not fit down here through my basement door. I had to call the distribution company who made the slider and give them fax at the time, fax instructions to me to tell me how to take the frame off the house to get this table in and put the frame back up.
There you
Wow.
go. Dedication. That's like Ted said, right? His came in through a window through the crane. I think we've all like I know I almost had to take the doors off this house to get the craps table in the house, even turning it, right? Like I mean, though I had to replace the trim on the door because the table may or may not have destroyed a piece of trim when coming in the house. But I
That's
almost had
only
to
a
take the door
mix.
off the door frame too.
We all have banged up a few things moving these things around.
Oh yeah, and it's very easy to do because they're very heavy. But wouldn't trade it for anything now. Love having
Nope.
it there.
Yep, I
It's
agree.
great.
So to
I
get
like
back to like Harrah's where we all love to play, I want to get into a little bit of some intricate questions for you, Ted. Real
okay.
small, like do you have any pre-roll rituals that you do, or are there certain things you avoid at the table at any time?
Rituals as far as what? Like shooting the dice up to the back of the wall and everything like that, or
Anything pre-roll? Like do you like the way you set your rack? Do you do you have a specific position you always like to shoot from, and then if you can't or get that position, you decide not to
Um,
play?
I usually like shooting between left 1 and 2. I like shooting in that area. I can shoot from 3. Also, I'm starting to work on my stick right 2. Shooting from there, I had a very good roll. Not at the 10 times, but at the 5-time multiplier that we were at.
April.
Yeah, April May timeframe. So I had a good roll there, and I will sometimes shoot from the corners where the stack dealers are at by the inner edge where the pits sit. But
Do you have any
I like to get squared up to the table. Um, I will set my dice to what I set them at. I'll put them down. I bring my hand back. I might wipe off on my sleeve, and then I go back down there, and then I'll get my hand set. Look at that. I'll look at my hand, and then I'll look down the table. I'll look at where I want to shoot them at and everything. Look for it, landmines, and then try to avoid them if I can. But that's pretty
I would
much
say
it.
that's pre-roll ritual.
That is. Are you a believer in like wearing the same type of clothes when you practice, when you play? I know some people are like, I gotta practice in what I'm gonna play in. Like, for me personally, right? Like I wear a sweatshirt at the casino most of the time because I freeze my ass off in there. So like at home, I'll shoot in
Thank
a
you.
t-shirt or in a sweatshirt. So like, because it's a little different arm swing when you have that, or like, I'm just curious about if you wear the same clothing or like do you just not care? It doesn't matter to you.
For the most part, I don't care and everything. It doesn't matter. But if I'm wearing a sweatshirt at that point and something's just not feeling right, then it comes off.
Gotcha. So like, do you run around the house in like your Centurion costume to
I have no
practice?
idea what you're talking about.
We all know what I'm talking about. Um, sorry, I
I have
had to bring
no
this up
idea.
because I love this. Um, the Centurion costume in Caesars might have been one of my like all-time favorites of casino trips just to see you in a full Centurion costume walking around Caesars. It
And
was great.
everybody coming up to me, wanting pictures and stuff like that. And I
Yeah, you were a
I think it
celebrity.
might have been you too that was saying, "Hey, you ought to say $5. It'll help my bankroll."
Yeah,
So how
no,
did,
it wasn't me. It was me. It was an extension of me. It was girlfriend DJing at the time. Still the same, but now it's upgrade to fiance. But
so
yeah, the it was her. She's always looking for, a little marketing scheme in there or whatever. But I know she still has that picture on her phone, and when she goes through her pictures, she always shows it to me of you wearing the hat and everything. It kills me.
That
so how did
up
that come
there
about?
at the statue and stuff, or
She has one of you actually taking a picture with somebody else, and you have the sword and the hat, and you're like,
He was
so
playing
yeah,
it.
like
now,
Craig said, how'd that come about?
all right. Well, this was after COVID, and were all locked up. And uh, there was a group of us during the COVID that was going together. We created a group called Craps Nation. Um, I'm not one of the founding people of that, but I was there towards the beginning of it, and I kind of became their admin person for it. And so after COVID happened, we were like, we need to get out. This is during the time when the barriers were up and everything like that. Um, I just happened to on that home table. One of my experiences, Ed Robinson talks about it talks about it a lot. Train as you fight, and everything. So I actually on my home table, my home built table, I put plastic up and I started practicing with the barriers up. This happened to be the case when I went to Caesars that we had to shoot in the barriers, and it was so awkward and everything like that. It's even awkward in a Centurion outfit too.
I can't imagine. because the hat's got to get in the way. Because like
I had
for the
feathers like
folks at
in my
home,
nose.
I was gonna say for the folks at home who don't know like what it was like during COVID playing craps, right? So imagine a craps table with literally plexiglass. So like imagine a hockey ring in the middle of a craps table basically, and that's like you had glass all around you with like a little window that you could stick your arm into to throw. And I hated it because I mean, and I'm sure you did too, because we're taller, right? So like when I would go to swing, my arm would always hit the top of the plexiglass all the time.
Yep.
And like I hated that part of it. But yeah, like with the with the Centurion face on, like I can only see that getting in the way because I know when I was playing once at Hard Rock, when the plexiglass was up, I had a hat on and I had to turn my hat backwards. Now, normally I wear backwards hats, but I had it forward that day and I kept hitting my head on the plexiglass. I was like a duck. Like I just kept hitting my head. So I had to turn it backwards, which was fine. But like it was messing with me. Like I just didn't like anything that was going on with the plexiglass.
Yep. Yeah, it was the same thing for me because I had to scoot way down and stuff like that, and it's only like a 5-inch window that they gave us to shoot through, and then it was out over the table a little bit too. So you had like another
Mm-hmm.
5 inches that went out over the table, so you couldn't get your full movement. So I set
Yeah.
up my table to be able along to try to align with Caesar so I could get that practice. So you train as you fight. Now, do you want to hear the story how this all began, the Centurion thing?
Absolutely.
That's what we're waiting for. Yes.
All right. Well, after COVID, we had like a group of 40 people that came over. One of the guys that was there it was his birthday, so we had a big dinner over at Morton's Steakhouse down at the bottom of Caesars. Evelyn, Evelyn, Yo Girl, and I were kind of the people that were putting it on, organizing everything. And we're like, you know what? We're at Caesars. Let's do what Caesars. Let's do Caesars something. So she was going to dress up as like a queen and everything, have a little thing on, and then a dress and all that kind of stuff. She didn't end up wearing it. I was the only one that did. So she went downstairs, got everything organized downstairs, and I said, I'm going to be a little bit late, just I can make an entrance. So they're all down there, and I'm walking down the hall of Caesars to go downstairs, and it had people stopping me going down there. So I finally get down to the hostess and everything, and she's like, I'm here for the big party. They go, do they know you're here? I go, yes, I'm one of the organizers of it and everything. And like, are you sure? And I go, yeah, I'm sure. She's like, hold on a moment. So she goes, talks to the boss. So here I'm standing at the thing, and I have my hood, my helmet on. I have my gear on. I have my shield, my sword, and everything. I had a skirt on there, and the manager comes over. He's like, "What's going on?" And I told him my group is having a party over there. We're having a surprise party for one of our guys that's having a birthday while there. And they said, "Oh, okay." She kind of hemmed haw about it. She walked away. I don't know if she went to go in to talk to Evelyn or not, but she came back and she let me in and went in, and I surprised Ting, who was having his birthday at that point. Well, to come back later, I asked him, so what's all the hold? What was all the hold up with me being out there? And he said, well, they thought I was a stripper coming in for the party, so they thought I
I
was
was gonna
coming.
ask, did you get any stripper related questions with that one?
No, I didn't get any. I did not get any stripper related questions from them, but I don't have the body of a stripper.
Hey, I mean, especially, well, I guess then it was what, 2020-ish. But it's 2025. Anything goes these days. I mean, I don't
And,
know.
and you're in COVID, so there's probably a bunch of desperate people out there.
Yeah, they were in their house. I mean, who knows? Maybe somebody needed their Julius Caesar fantasy to come true.
It never didn't
Well, I
happen with
imagine you
me.
were a hero in that outfit. I mean, have you ever had a hero moment where you saved the table?
Yes, I've actually had a few of them. Um, I was at this actually what we'll be talking about it later on. Come out of a class. I took a class with Golden Touch, and I was at a table with a bunch of Golden Touch instructors, and everybody was having a little bit of a rough time, and I'm at stick left 3 and everything, and I started throwing and throwing and throwing. I had my host that was at stick right 2, 3, and he would run down from over there to me and just give me a high five and everything like that. From my understanding, they took off about $14,000 off the table.
Okay.
Nice.
Me, I took this. This is when I was just beginning. Everybody will learn as they learn that they start off small. You start off small. You don't know how to bet, and as you grow, you
Yep.
start learning how to bet. I was at that point to where I didn't know how to bet. I'm seeing them breaking money off and everything like that, and I'm over here like, okay. It was nice of some of them that they were giving me tips and everything like that. But
There you go.
Yeah.
remember, if you have a shooter at the table and they're making you money, spread the wealth a bit. Help people.
Definitely have to spread the wealth. Definitely got a tip. It's funny. I'm gonna get into it when we do our top 5 because one of mine is something very similar. Where if I only knew how to bet. But real quick before we get into the top 5, you mentioned the Golden Touch class that you took. Have you taken any other classes in your craps journey?
I have taken Golden Touch. I've taken Rest in Peace Howard Newman, Rock and Roller. I've taken classes from Tony Leo and Bo Parker.
Okay. Good
You're
good
well-rounded.
experience with yeah, I was gonna say like, you've taken quite a few different classes there. So
You can learn from everybody. Everybody has their quirks. Like one of the things I liked about Golden Touch is that they have several different instructors there, and as you're doing a round robin with the different stations, each one of them not only is going to teach the way the dominator wants, but they're also going to put in that like their little nuance onto to what you're doing. So that's what I liked with Golden Touch. But Rock and Roller, he was just a wealth of knowledge with the different throws and styles of throwing. We lost a lot of great knowledge when he passed on and everything.
yep,
There are some
certainly
people
did.
there's some people in our group that have had that have had classes and they still use uh some of the roles that he taught. East Coast Craps, he does that. Clay.
AKA
Tony Leo.
Grandpa for those that watch the show.
Say
Yeah,
again.
grandpa for the folks at home. I can't call him Clay. I can't call him East Coast. He's only grandpa.
Yep, he is. He acts like a grandpa.
Yeah, he does.
Tony Leo, um, he helps you watch the dice, but he's helped me with being able to tune myself up. So like when I go to Las Vegas, I will make a trip to go see him. After you pay his one-time fee, you can go to him or you can go to any of his instructors throughout the country and be able to warm up at their house and stuff like that. Like he has some people in Florida. I drove down to Tampa. Down there, I got to do the opening roll for the Hard Rock Tampa, and I was up at his house practicing rolling beforehand and everything. So,
Nice.
You consider yourself a dice influencer then?
say again.
You consider yourself a dice influencer then?
Everybody's an influencer when it comes to craps. You're throwing the dice. That's an
Valid.
influence.
It's a valid point.
They're in your hand.
They're in your
Yeah.
hand. You're throwing them. You're throwing them soft. You're throwing them hard. You're throwing them off the table. Whatever. You're throwing them up 6 feet high. you're influencing the dice no matter what. And the thing is with it is that are you throwing it consistently the same way every time?
Right.
Or pretty close to on time. I mean, it's just like when we were in the military or when I was in the military and they're teaching you shoot. They're teaching you to on how to pull the trigger when you're breathing, when you're not breathing, doing the same motion for all the time. And that's the same thing here. That's why we have the tables is to practice the motion and do it correctly the same way every time. And everybody has their own way of throwing the dice. So if you play craps, you are a dice influencer in my book. Now, how good of an influencer is a different story.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. So we're about to get into the top 5. We had this in a previous show, and I like to actually like to get everybody's opinion on it. But do you have any pet peeves at the craps table? Things that just annoy you?
Buying in the middle of a roll is
Common
one.
one.
Number 1.
That's the main one. Another thing that has happened to me at at some of the tables to where some of the dealers, I'll be knocking the stick on the thing on the wood, or
Yeah.
people on the
Mhm.
edges hitting the wood, the railing and stuff like that. I tell them we can feel that all the way through the whole thing. Like at Harrah's in Biloxi, I had this one dealer. He was taking a stick and he was tapping it on a thing. And I'm got a bunch of money out there. I got them up pretty high. And I was like, do you want to win money or no? They're like, what do you mean? I was like, you tapping that stick on that wood is annoying and is messing me up. And he's like, oh, sorry. So he stopped. And then I continued throwing and throwing. And then all of a sudden he started doing it again. And I just like this, he goes, he just like stopped again and everything. He's like, sorry.
No, you're right. There are stick people at Harrah's that rock back and forth, and I'm like,
Yeah.
could you stop rocking back? Because you're right at the moment that you're forward in your rock is right when I'm going to throw it. I know I'm going to knock into you.
Yeah.
Like, stop doing that shit.
Yep. And also too, one of the things that we're good at is Adam. He's good at this. I was over at Caesars and I was on a good roll. Actually, Clay did too with Jeff at Harrah's over at Philadelphia. I was in a good roll. I'd have people to come over and start talking to me and everything. Adam would come up and block. Clay, I was at stick right too, and we were like, this was on a 5 times, at the end of the year, 5 times at Philadelphia. And we went around, everybody was starting to cash out and everything. I was like, no, I want one more time. And so I went in and I started rolling. And Clay had what did he have? He had like $30 or $60 left, something like that. And I rolled and I rolled. Jeff was starting to come back in and he's like, you ain't Clay was like, you ain't going in next to him. You just better hold back. He's on a roll. Clay ended up collecting over $900 off of that roll, coming off of that roll.
Yep. I remember that story.
We were just talking about
It was a good
blockers
one.
in the last episode, and that when we're in a crew,
So-
we're not just blocking, like we're not just asking somebody to put chips out of their way. We're blocking the wait staff. We're blocking other players from being around you, trying to interfere with your shooting. We're blocking people from trashing your area with the drink rail underneath that gets annoying
Right.
when you're not shooting. So it's a myriad of jobs for as a blocker.
And it's kind of cool when you can get the casino crew into it too. I was on a roll in the coffee run one time, and I was there shooting, and I was getting on a roll again. I was right here at stick left 1-1-2. There was enough room here for a skinny person that would be able to get in there and everything, and then there was like a little bit of room on the left side of me. The ends were all full and stuff like that, and I was rolling. One guy tried to go in, and it was the pit boss that said, no, you need to go over here to the end. Then another guy tries to come over onto my left side and everything while I'm rolling. He said, nope, you go off to the end. Or people were trying to buy in. Some of the dealers would say, take that off. You're not buying in at this point.
Good
That seems like
dealers.
a rarity, having a dealer saying you're not buying in.
Yeah.
It depends on the dealers. I mean, yeah, there are some that are new. There are some of them that don't know the etiquette and
Yeah.
everything. But when they see that you're betting for them and the person's on a good roll, they'll do it. And if you take care of them, they'll take care of you. And
Yep.
that's where that comes in.
That's that karma. That's that table karma.
Yep.
That is that karma.
Tip your dealers.
Talking about some
Tip your shooters.
tip your shooters, tip your dealers, usually on a good roll. And talking about good rolls, is it time for our top five, Craig?
I think it might be.
I think it's time for our top five. We're going to do our top five with Ted today. So, for the folks at home, our top five is our top five casinos that we've had monumental winning sessions. Now, doesn't have to be a large color up, just some kind of monumental session at the casino. So, Craig, I'm going to go to you first for number five.
All
What
right.
is it?
I will say I have two honorable mentions we'll talk about at the end. But my number five is where it all started for me in Vegas at the Mirage in February 2022 when I bought in for 500, just played 66 inside up to 110 inside, one hit, and then regressed back down to 66 inside. I just kept doing that over and over again until I colored up to about 1100. And for me, again, that was the first month I'd ever touched a craps table. So that was pretty exciting to more than double your bankroll.
Yep.
That's my number
For
five.
sure. All right, Ted, what's number five on your list?
Number five, I already talked about it before with the instructors and stuff. That was the Tropicana AC. It was great for them. Michael Feldman still talks about it every now and then. So does Don Wood and a few of the others. But I threw a 51 roller on that
Yes,
one.
sir.
Nice. Very nice. My number five is at my local Valley Forge. I was there with fiance DJen, my neighbor, his late wife. I had $30 left on my buy-in, and I wanted to shoot. So what did I do? $15 pass line, 555 ATS. Well, I went on a roll. Never hit my pass line, but I did hit the full ATS. As soon as I hit the last number on the ATS, I sevened out. Never got that pass line paid, but I did hit the ATS there. And then the guys at the table wanted me to keep shooting, so they all passed the dice all the way back to me, which I then hit the full ATS again and the tall on the same roll. Ended up turning $30 into like $5,000.
Wow.
Nice.
Impressive.
Yeah,
Impressive.
it was one of my highlights. And the funny part about that whole thing was that like I never hit that pass line and never hit the point. So I would have been broke, for lack of a better term. Wouldn't have been broke, but like, I would have lost everything if I wouldn't have hit that ATS. And I was debating, do I go for the ATS, or do I just place $15 on a number, because it was $15 table, and hope I hit that, and then let's see what transpires after that. But going for the ATS in hindsight was a good idea. So, Craig, number four.
All right. Number four is one that I talked about previously in a top five, but in regards to what I ate after the session. This was at Maryland Live in March 2022, 1 month after coming home from Vegas, discovering craps. This was still about 5 months before I even had a channel, but I bought in for 220, played just the pass line, no odds, just 689 only, regardless of the point. Pressing and regressing, don't think I ever had any one bet placed for more than $50 or $60 and colored up over 1,200. That was pretty sweet.
Sweet. Ted, number four.
Number four, it's another roll. It was at Caesars Atlantic City, 61er.
Wow.
Damn, that's a big
61.
roll. 61. That's a nice roll. All right, number four for me is actually on a cruise ship, the Norwegian Epic, when I was doing my Mediterranean cruise. Was the only one on the craps table. I've said it before on this podcast. I hate being the only one at the craps table. Was shooting horribly the entire time, the entire trip. I was down bad most of the trip. And then I popped off a 55 on the second to last day when I was the only one on the table. By the time I was done my roll, the entire table was full of people who had not a clue what was going on. But I didn't let that phase me, and I just kept shooting. But I threw a 55 on a cruise ship.
I've had one like that before on a cruise ship, on a symphony, the Royal Caribbean Symphony.
I've not
Yep.
been on a cruise yet. Maybe
That's
someday.
side note. I just saw somebody jumped off a cruise ship because they had $16,000 worth of
I heard
gambling
about
debt.
that.
I
I did not hear
saw
that.
I saw an article today. It was in one of the craps groups that I'm a part of. Somebody texted it, and then I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw the same thing. I was like, "What the heck?" So weird side note. Don't get into that kind of debt, and
Nope.
jumping off the cruise ship's never the option. All right, there's always an
No,
option better than that one. All right, so folks at home, don't jump off cruise ships.
Play within your means.
that's right.
Yes.
If you
Yep.
if you're not
All
if
right.
you're not willing to lose it, don't play it.
Correct.
Yep. That's what we always say. We say that the money that goes on the table, you have to be prepared to lose it because chances are you might lose not all of it, but you're going to lose some of it, right? Because as you said
Yeah.
earlier, Ted, you're not advantaged in any game you play. All right, Craig, number 3.
All right, number 3, I'm gonna have to go back to August, I think 2024, during a tier multiplier at Harrah's in Atlantic City, and this is where I bought in for I had the last $140 of the whole bankroll for the trip, because at that time I didn't really have much knowledge about bankroll management, and I actually turned it into 1,300. And the reason I liked it is because that's when I hit the 5-point fire bet. And I think Larry was on the table, maybe Lou, um, Brian, and Clay. And what was impressive about the roll itself was that I hit 4 of the points all within 11 rolls. Because I had 4 of the 5 points were buckshots.
Yep.
And
Nice.
then I was chasing that last one, which I never got for the 6th point. I don't even think I established the point of 10. I had just hit the point of 4, and I thought changing the dice would do the trick, but couldn't get to 10.
Now, question to ask you.
Yeah.
In reference to that, and the ATS. With that being said, getting a 5-point fire bet and everything like that. Why would you change your set if you have dice that are working for you to be able to make more money? Just like on the ATS, you can actually make more money on the box hits and more consistently, especially if you're betting correctly, than what you would make out in the all tall small.
Well, you're
Mhm.
correct. I didn't have that kind of discipline yet and bet progressions yet. Um, I was shooting from stick right 1, so it's not a position that I care to shoot from, but it was the only open position, so I took it. And I believe I was shooting a 3-2-6-4 dice set. And I had practiced a 2-1-2-1-1-3 dice set. And I changed to that set in order to establish and get the box 4. What I should have done was kept with that set, because if I'm hitting the 4, the possibility of hitting a 10 was right there. But I
Mhm.
didn't. I tried to change it to where there was a 4 on the dice facing me. I changed it to a 10 facing me, and it didn't work. So it is what it is. But yep, you're right. I hit the first, 4 points with the same dice set. Should have kept with it.
Yep.
Yep.
Number 3, this is more about the dealers, which I had mentioned earlier,
Bring it.
is Harris. Harris, the way they interact with me and a lot of our players and stuff like that with the crew, they're awesome. I enjoy them a whole bunch, and they help be part of the game. They're not a hindrance, at least when it comes to me. Sometimes there are some of them that can be a hindrance and stuff like that, but this one is more of the experience, is monumental because of the experience, like I talked about with the people when I was on a hot roll and everything. The dealers were out there helping me to make more money, and I did come out with a good rack of money.
Was there ever a time where you had dealer bets up, and if so, um, what's the most you've ever seen dealers win in
That's
tips?
coming up.
Okay. All right. All right. We'll keep
Don't
it at that.
spoil it, Craig.
Spoiler, man. I didn't even know. An unknown spoiler.
Number 3 for me is not a massive winning session, but it was at the nicest casino that I have ever been to and will ever be in. And I want to go back, Monte Carlo in Monaco. I played slots for the first time ever. DJen has only ever played slots once in his life. And the only
His
reason
life?
I played, what was that?
His life?
Yeah.
Your what? Your girlfriend? You said he. I'm getting you
No, I'm
in
saying
trouble.
I played slots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
played slots.
I was like,
I've only ever played slots once, and it was in Monte Carlo. And the
I was
only
gonna, I was
reason
gonna,
I
I was
played
gonna, I was
slots,
gonna get you in trouble.
no, you can't, because she was there, so she knows what happened there.
Yeah, but
Um,
calling her he. That's what I was gonna get you in
nah,
trouble.
yeah, she'd probably laugh it off. I'd ask
You
her if she
probably
was
would.
here, but she's not here. So when you go to Monte Carlo, right, you have to pay an entrance fee to get in, and they give you like a free coupon or whatever. But when we were there, the craps table was closed. 16-foot craps table. It was closed. The only thing that were open were slots and then blackjack and roulette. So I played roulette for a little bit, won some money, and then but I couldn't use my free bet coupon. I could only use it on electronic games, which was slots. So fiance DJ went in, put $10 or the coupon, I think it was worth $10 in the slot machine, lost it all. I went and put my $10 in the slot machine and I hit for $73. That was good enough for me. I am a lifelong slot winner because I will never touch a slot machine again. And that's why it's monumental, because I won on a slot machine and I will never touch them again. And it's also the nicest casino I've ever been to. Highly recommend for anyone to go there if you can. All right, Craig, number 2.
All right. So I just switched number 2 with the honorable mention because I actually think
Oh
it's
boy.
better because it was a winning session. So number 2 is I don't even remember when this was. All I remember is it was our interviewee Ted and myself at 5:30 in the morning or 6 in the morning, and we were at stick left 1 and 2 respectively. I was at stick left 2, and Ted had the dice. I bought in for 460, and I I think it was the Thursday of that week. Probably a multiplier in August of that whatever year. But I'm standing there and I'm contemplating, this trip has been up and down and up and down and up and down, and I'm like, fuck it. Fuck it. I bought in for 460. I went 150 on the 6 and 8, and Ted went on a 30 plus roller. And he's hitting everything. I don't think he hit the ATS, Ted. I know you were hitting hard ways, occasional hard ways, but I just went for it. And it happened to be right around the same time Ted had a great roll. And I turned the 460 into 3,300.
Nice.
And the reason it was part of my initial honorable mention was because I didn't stop playing. And as Ted's already pointed out, time is your enemy. So by the time I colored up, I only colored up for 1,700. Now, granted, that's still a hell of a color up with a 460 buy-in, but it could
Right.
have been 3,300.
Yep.
That's
All right,
what
Ted, number 2.
Number 2. This is coming to you for the biggest tip. I was at Harrah's, Kansas City, was playing, and I had this crew. We were, I think it was a regular table. It was either regular or crapless, one or two. It's probably crapless. Yeah, I think it was crapless. Started off, I don't remember what I started at. I put dollars in on the dealers and stuff, and I went on a heater. I got up to in Kansas City. It's 100 times odds, and you can do put bets. Do you guys know what put bets are? Okay, for those that don't know, it's basically like it's a come bet, but you're placing it where you're at. you can put $15, let's say $15. You can put the minimum on the table, and then you put it on the whatever number you want up there in the box numbers. And then from there, you can put the odds. That put bet will always stay up there. It does not come down. When you put the odds up there, I had that up to, I had a $15 base with $800 odds. I could go up to 1,500 with it being 100 times odds. But I started off, it had to be like 66 inside is what I started off with. And then I had the dealers on for $1. I feel so sad for this lady, the dealer in the back doing the chips. I had her working so hard to where she was sweating. She was sweating so hard, and she was pregnant at the time.
It could be why she was sweating.
Well, that too, but I was working her.
Sure.
And I had their bets all the way across, starting at $1 up to over $100
Wow.
Nice.
and everything.
That's amazing.
And I have a Kansas City boss that I talk to every now and then and stuff, and they're like, "When you coming back?"
I bet they're asking that. That's awesome.
amazing.
Gotta take care of your dealers.
Yep.
All right, number 2 for me is a roll that happened at the Golden Nugget by a member of our crew. First of all, I've never seen the shooter take a piss break in the middle of a roll. That did happen during this roll.
Yes, it did.
It was a massive get right roll because that trip was going horribly up until that point for me anyway. I think for a lot of other people. But colored up a lot, and that color up paid for the craps table that is behind me.
Nice.
Also on that roll is when I did your 410 flip
Yes, you did.
several times.
Several times. The impossible 410 flip that never happens. I think it happened on the 4 and the 10
Yep.
twice in the same roll. So
That's amazing.
you know, it happens, but whatever. But yeah, that's my number 2. That was an incredible experience. And then the piss break in the middle was hilarious because the shooter took one, and then half the table took one because they were chip filling at the time.
Yep.
And we all literally sprinted to the nearest bathroom and sprinted back so we could get back for the rest of the roll. But yeah, that's my number 2. Craig, numero
awesome.
uno.
All right. Numero uno. So this is actually at my local Hollywood casino in Perryville, one casino that I happen to not like at all, but
didn't
it's
like
only
it either.
25 minutes north of me, so that's why I go to it. But this was the summer, I believe the summer of 2023. I don't know what month, but it was a Thursday. And I only remember it was a Thursday because the night went so long that I looked down at my watch and it was past midnight, and I was like, crap, I got to get up in 4 hours for work the next day. But it was a full table. There was a shooter at the far left hook by the dealer and a shooter at stick right 1 that both gentlemen had monster come out rolls before establishing the point. Now, Chris, you're probably going to be surprised. I don't even know what a world bet was back then. So I wasn't playing the world bet yet. But I started with a $5 horn high bet on both the horn high yo and the horn high ace deuce. Why? I don't know, because I'm stupid and just playing prop bets. I was also hopping the reds for $1. It happened both times on different occasions that they kept bouncing back and forth between come out sevens and horn numbers. So my bets, every time we were lost, I would, or whichever one, I increased that bet. And then it just kept going back and forth until I had the hopping reds up to $9 each, and I had the horn high bets from $5 to $25 each, and they hit it again. Then the guy at stick right 1 started hitting boxes, and he established points, and he's hitting boxes, and I was not playing the ATS at that time, but he needed just aces for the all, and I had a gut feeling. I still had my $25 horn high bets on the yo and the ace deuce, and at the same time, I had a gut feeling and I put 25 straight up on aces. And goddamn if he didn't hit aces right then and there. Total, that was an $1,100 hit for me. But I wound up coloring up that night to over 2,275 after dealer tips. And the only reason I quit
was because I looked down at my watch and I was like, shit, I got to get up in 4 hours. Now, the DGen in me of today, as Chris will point out, and he does point out all the time, he's like, you fucking stay there if you're winning. Don't stop. If you're winning, actively winning, not like playing a long time like I did with Ted, where I lost the part of the 3,300 and just making stupid decisions. But when it's actively, it just keeps increasing, and you're like, I don't think I need to stop, but I had to. I just had to go home. But it was a great color up. It was an amazing time. I was probably there. I think I got there at 6 p.m. and didn't leave till 12:45. So that's a long time at a craps table for me, especially
Yeah,
somebody
it
who's
is.
beginning at this stuff. I'd only been playing a year.
That
Yeah,
that
that's a
Kansas
long time.
that Kansas City trip, we were at a private table and everything, um, and we had it reserved for 12 hours a day. I think so, and we were there for 2 or 3 days. And I was on. They had me clocked at that table for total was about 22 hours.
Jeez. That's a lot of time on the tables.
Yeah,
A lot of time. All
Please
right,
tell me
Ted,
you,
number
you took a
one.
bathroom break at some point, right?
I did, but the bathroom was still in the same room. Was just right next to right next to the table.
What, Ted, number one?
Number one, Biloxi, Harris. No official number count. I wasn't counting my rolls at that time, and didn't have Lou or Clay there to help me out to do it. I think I was pretty much the only person at the table, except for maybe one or two every now and then. And this is where the dealer was clicking the stick and everything. I pulled over $8,000 off the table.
Nice. Very nice. All right, my number one, this goes along with not knowing how to bet. So me and the guys take a guys trip every year. That's how I got into craps. This is not from this trip. This is from the next year's trip. Went out to Arizona. Arizona didn't have craps tables up until when we got there. So it was the first week the casino had a craps table, Gaia River or Gila River or however it's pronounced. I don't care. It's Gaia River to me. Um, we went there before we were supposed to take off on our flight to come back home. Had a roll, a decent little roll, and we were gonna leave. And then I said, I want to shoot one more time at the craps table. Two of my buddies came on the table with me. 2 hours later, my roll ended. Don't know how many rolls it was, but it was 2 hours. We missed our flight home. We had to book another flight back because we did miss our flight. But not knowing how to bet, I was afraid to go above black chips on the table. So the highest I ever was 640 across. Pulled like $4,000 off the table and another $2,000 in tips from shooters. But there was guys parked at table max on that table for almost an hour and a half. The one guy next to me was super aggressive. He was up there very high, very, very quickly. But broke in that table the first week it was there with a 2-hour roll and pulled easily a couple 100,000 off that table between a couple of the players that were there. 2 NFL players were at the table that day. So pretty cool. But yeah, that's my number one.
Impressive.
We have a person in our group now who just had a massive roll at Harris few months ago, James A.
Yep.
He had a massive roll where a couple of guys made about $250,000 each off of his
Yeah.
roll. And this is where I get into talking about the shooter. That guy made you $250,000, and one of you throw him a $500 chip.
That's terrible. Like that's like, and for people who don't think that I'm saying a $500 tip is terrible, but when you pull off $250,000 off the table and some guys roll, $500 is like me giving you a penny. Like I would have told him honestly to keep the 500. Like that's a slap in the face to me.
Yeah, I agree.
No, it was a
That's
107 roller.
yeah, insane.
Yep.
It was
And
insane.
he only made I think 12,000 as the shooter.
I don't think I don't remember what he made. I don't think it was that much. I don't think
No,
it was
he didn't make
$12,000.
that much. You know
I
what's crazy?
I think it was like 2 grand or something like that because he I don't know, but from what he was saying, he wasn't used to betting, and he's at that point right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what's crazy? So that roll happened on my birthday, and I was supposed to be in Atlantic City that day, but I got tickets to a PGA Tour golf event that was happening in the area as part of a birthday gift. So I was at the BMW or sorry, the Truist Championship um at the cricket club here, and I was not in Atlantic City. But if I would not have been at the golf event, I would have been in Atlantic City and I would have been on the table.
You weren't the only one from the
Anyway,
crew who wasn't on the table. There was somebody
yeah.
who was there but
Yeah,
left.
Yep.
you're
There were quite a few. But all right, Craig, top five, you know what time for. Tip of the episode. What's our tip, Craig?
All right, our tip of the episode is thank a veteran. If you see him at the grocery store, if you see him anywhere at any event, and they come up to you or you go up to them, go up to them and thank them. Say thank you for serving. Thank you. A simple thank you is the easiest compliment you can give somebody, and they deserve it. Ted here, we talked to Ted about craps. We don't talk to Ted about his military experience. We know that he's probably seen stuff that we don't want to talk about. Many military people do see things and come home with PTSD, and just a simple thank you can go a long way with just bringing up somebody's spirits. So thank a veteran.
Yep, it
Yep.
does. And thank you for pointing that out. Um, I like to do a lead in on that one to where um coming up we got craps for the cure coming up in Las Vegas. They tend to have the donations that come in, they'll go towards a service animal that's for a vet and everything. So please make sure you watch it and show your support. We as a group try to do I told you about it, Chris, but I was like, put in $1,000 for us, for the craps group.
Mm-hmm.
People gave me money, and then we put it in and stuff like that.
That's
So
awesome because this is the third year in a row that we're doing Veterans Moving Forward.org, which has these service animals that are trained. And we've purchased the dogs in the last 2 years of this organization, and this year we are doing everything we can to supply these dogs with everything they need, including all the training. Because as some of you may not know, one dog costs about $50,000, 25,000 for the purchase of the dog, and $25,000 to train and for all the supplies that go with it during training. We're lucky enough this year, and I know you're kicking yourself for not being able to go, Chris. We're actually going to have, I believe, a veteran with their service dog that's going to make an appearance at Craps for the Cure, which will really be cool. And just for the audience, this episode is actually airing after Craps for the Cure. We did talk about Craps for the Cure, I think, in episode 8, Chris, where we did provide
Yep.
all the links to Craps for the Cure. So
Yeah,
go
and
donate.
just so everybody knows, I'm gonna clip this part out and I'll post it tomorrow actually. So it's up for prior to Crash for the Cure. So when this episode actually airs, it will be after. But if you're watching this pre-Crash for the Cure or post-Crash for the Cure, all the links will be down below. Even after the event happens, the website is still open. Donations are still being accepted. So go check out the links down below. So this will be posted twice, so you glorious humans get to see it twice. Because I'll clip this part out and we'll put it up tomorrow, and then I'll put it up also when we air the episode. That'll also be out for that. So links are
I was
down below. Veterans moving forward.
I was actually trying to come to this craps for the cure this time, but it turns out that I will be in the middle of Bahamas on
There
a
you go.
cruise at this time.
Well, enjoy your cruise, Ted, and we want to thank you for coming on the podcast. We really appreciate you sharing your stories and your insights and all your wisdom with us. in the groups and all the conversations we've had, and also sharing it for our listening audience as well. So thank you very much for coming on tonight.
Thank you. One team, one fight.
Yes,
And
sir. We
Ted,
look
I just want to
forward.
add, thank you from me for accepting me into the crew. I've only been in the crew for a couple of years, and I couldn't find a more supportive group that you've groomed for this crew. And I know that take you take it very seriously, and who you allow into the group, um, and how you support all the people that are in the crew, whether they're having a good session, a bad session, or just need somebody to talk to. I want to thank you for always being there.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. And we have all different levels in the group. All
Yep.
different levels.
We are a great group, and keep growing, keep getting better. Again, for the folks at home, thank you for paying attention. Ted, thanks for coming on. For anyone at home who needs it, all the links to all the social medias and stuff are down below: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Full-length episodes on YouTube. YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. I'll get the listing one day. And if you need to email us, fullofchipspodcast@gmail.com, you can find us there. Again, Ted, thank you so much for coming on. And
Yes,
everyone
sir.
at home, thank
Thank
you
you,
for
gentlemen.
listening. And we will see you in episode 11.